So I grew up in Kendall until Hurricane Andrew came, and then we moved to Broward County, and I lived in a castle, and it was like, man, just the nicest neighborhood, nicest people, and always had the flyest girlfriends and the nicest stuff. And I played sports for American Heritage and
What'd you play?
baseball and soccer and football, and then I moved up to North Carolina, started a record company, and lived in Colorado and France and Jamaica and New York, and just traveled a whole bunch, did a whole bunch of shows, and that's when I started doing. But when my dad died of cancer, like seeing all those people in the cancer place during COVID, like some of them had like double pneumonia, COVID, and cancer, and you'd be like, "You gonna make it?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna pull through." Like just seeing all those people kind of sucks. And then like my ex girlfriend died, and then my roommate killed himself. He threw himself in front of a car. Got hit by five more cars because his girlfriend broke up with him. My other roommate was found with a needle on his arm because he just was stupid and relapsed and died.
Did all of this happen around the same time frame?
About the end of COVID, everyone died that I knew. Then the feds picked up 19 of my friends for RICO. So I was pretty much just left alone. So I started smoking. And I moved to Atlanta. And drugs are really cheap there. And so I got, good and stuck on all that. And I got robbed the first night down this dark alley in the bus terminal in Atlanta. It's like, notorious for being a bad place. And I just like followed the guy, like, bro, you took all my money. You gotta like teach me how to do something, or I'm gonna starve to death. So he taught me how to boost, and that's how I supported my habit. He had people on the inside of the stores like getting the clothes and giving me the tags to break them off in Atlanta. They're making like thousands of dollars a day
Doing what?
stealing clothes, boosting, but like high end shit like Versace and Gucci stuff like that. Like one outfit is like $6,000, but I would sell it for like $100 a crack. Yeah, because I'm that sick. You know what I mean? Like just willing to be taken advantage of at any point for my addiction.
So your
Yeah,
whole life got turned around in a matter of 4 years.
yeah. Four worst years of my life, man. Like and in Georgia it gets cold as shit. So you'd be like in the snow and the rain and the middle of the wintertime with no jacket, smoking crack on a bridge with like 50 other dudes with killers with 100 round drums on their guns and shit. Like it's like something out of the movie, man. You know, but
How old were you when your dad passed?
probably like 37, 38. No, 36. Because it's been like 3 years. So yeah,
And then with your girlfriend, what was the situation there?
man, we all went to rehab together. It was me, her friends, and her, and they did heroin. I did coke, and she got out first, and she relapsed, and she died. The dangerous thing about that shit is not doing it; is doing it, getting off of it, and then doing it again. She relapsed and overdosed, never woke up. She looked like a Barbie, and at her funeral they had a glass casket. And I started laughing, and her dad was like, "You want to die?" He's like, "What are you laughing at?" I was like, "We were at Walmart." She said, "One day when she dies of heroin, she's gonna be a bitch in a box, and you got her a glass casket." And he started laughing. He was like, "Yeah," she would say some shit like that. Like she was very sarcastic,
How long were
but
you with her?
just a year. But man, it was loving someone through a fentanyl addiction is hard. It's not easy, man. Because when we both met each other, we were doing really good, and then when it ended, it was just bad. Just not good.
And
Yeah.
how did that affect you after she passed?
Oh man, I tried to kill a drug dealer. I almost went to jail for the rest of my life.
Say that again.
I tried to kill a drug dealer. I pulled up on him at a hotel and shot him. Shot his head, missed, hit the number right off the door.
Oh my
Like
god.
that's how close the bullet missed him and shit like that. And yeah, the police asked me never to come back to that part of North Carolina. They're like, "We know you did it. We just can't prove it. We'd really like you never to come back because we're worried about his family." I'm like, "I'm not gonna do shit to his family. His family didn't do shit." But I knew the dude. I begged him not to sell her. and shit, and he just couldn't do it. Ended up killing her. So there's that.
I had a conversation once about whether the person that uses is to blame or the person that sells is the one to blame. What do you
Man,
think?
I think it's a little bit of both because when like let's say today we went and got high back in Liberty City where I'm from, and I were to die, I wouldn't want you to be mad at the dude who sold it to me. You know what I mean? That's my drug dealer. It's my connection. But that's not how people's families see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when people's families see it, like you just took part of my family away. So and it's very selfish to like that. My roommate was an Arab kid, family super rich, but like he didn't have $5 for food because they were playing hard. I mean, they'd pull up in 7 Series Beamers and I was making him tacos. He's telling me how bad heroin was, and he never wanted to do it again. And then this kid lived in the same neighborhood as Michael Jordan in Chapel Hill, UNC. You know that area? And I kicked in the door because he wasn't responding. He had the needle on his arm. He was as blue as your pants. He had brown skin, but his eyes were silver, and his body had turned blue. And from the heroin, it would like turn his veins black, like something out of a fucking horror movie, man. And like didn't end real well for the dude who sold him that shit either, man. I just keep getting unlucky. Then my other roommate, cool ass kid from Bronx, he's dating this Asian girl and buys her fake boobs, brand new Mercedes, and 3 days later, she leaves him for an MMA fighter. So he's like, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm like, no, man, don't do that. We'll get you another girlfriend. He's like, I'm going to the hospital. I need help. I'll be right back. He goes down the street where I walk every single day to work. Throws himself in front of a car, gets hit by 5 more cars. So every day on the way to work, I get to see like where the cars turn my friend into spaghetti. He's real sarcastic too.
Wait, so
Um,
what? He just got hit by a car.
he
Just
threw himself in a
he
car.
threw himself
Yeah,
in
he
front of a
took
car.
he took like 40 Valium and like 10 Adderall and just got real hyped up, drunk. Apparently, the toxicology report showed, and because I wasn't like him to do shit like that, so they had a toxicology report, a whole autopsy and shit, and yeah, he was already overdosed on drugs anyway, and he just fucking threw himself in front of a car, and 5 more cars hit him.
Jesus Christ, man.
Savage, but
So it was your dad, your girlfriend, your first roommate who overdosed, and then your second roommate who got broken up
himself.
with.
Yeah, my girlfriend died. My best friend got 19 to 30 years. My other best friend got a life sentence. He got life plus 30, and then the feds picked up 19 of my friends because we were running a record company, but they said it was like a front for racketeering and gang organization. So they hit him with RICO because two of my friends robbed an armored truck full of opiates. I'm not talking about little bottles. I'm talking about the bottles of like 10,000 like Percocet, and threatened the driver and stupidly brought the shit back to the studio. So the feds raided the studio thinking it was like a gang hideout, and they got a computer full of my music and like 100,000 pills of Oxycontin. So that doesn't look good. So they shut us down, and this is in Durham, North Carolina, where the Black Lives Matter started. So I was in like all those race riots and shit, and dropping the statues, and it was fucking crazy, man. It was like, when you hear like stories about in the '60s, where like Huey P. Newton, before like he died, said he was being followed by the CIA and
Mhm.
stuff like that. Man, they really had like people in black suits with cameras like following people and like threatening them and everything. Man, it was crazy. Some definitely some dark shit.
So then, what led to your homelessness?
Man, just getting tired of losing shit. I switched from coke to crack and just lost everything. I had a house and an apartment and multiple cars and multiple jobs, and I just lost everything. I just went crazy. Just everything. Yeah. In Atlanta, no less, in the middle of winter, in the middle of a huge gang war. It was just the craziest shit ever. We were every day. They They line you up to eat in Atlanta. They feed the homeless real good there. They take good care of the homeless. And that was when the YSL thing and Young Thug was going to trial.
Mhm.
And after his wife was killed over that bowling ball, the leader of a rival gang's daughter goes missing.
So if they treat the homeless well in Atlanta, what brought you to Miami?
It's just so violent in Atlanta.
Too violent?
Oh yeah, man. In the 3 years that I was there, I saw 6 people murdered. The sexual percentage is 252 times the national average because of P2P Sinaloa meth. It's this new phosphorus-based meth that hasn't come down here yet, but it turns like office workers into serial killers. Like, for instance, this dude who's like 400 pounds took some of this P2P meth, got naked, crawled up the second story of a house, broke into the house, started stealing shit, actually assaulted the woman, set the woman's house on fire, let her die, then just started crying outside. Like, what the fuck did I just do? Because the drugs had worn off. Like, this is some dangerous ass shit. If you think fentanyl is bad, this P2P shit is turns people into monsters. Yeah, it's just like, so there was in Atlanta a huge war between Cripple Block and Rolling 60s, and you couldn't live on the streets because it was just shootings everywhere. Stabbings, 5 stabbings a day on the train, in the subways, just shooting up the subway, shooting up the police stations, just straight up craziness. It's so violent in Atlanta. Like, the police don't give a fuck in Atlanta. They just figure it's poor people killing poor people and Spanish and black people killing Spanish and black people, so they don't give a fuck. And like, it's a very cool experience. Well, I wouldn't say it's cool, but going from growing up rich to begging on the street, like how people treat you, like is the craziest psychological study that a person can do. Like, just for one day, ditch all this shit and go beg on the corner for like 3 or 4 days until you're hungry and you smell bad and you see how people treat you, bro. It will change the way that you treat people, man. Because like, I was always that cool dude in 3-piece suit who would give money to the homeless. You know what I mean? But like, the way that people treat you sometimes when they think that you're less than them is not good.
Can you explain how that feels?
Yeah, it feels bad, bro. I'd be like, dude, I was the one who taught you to put rims on the Porsche, and now you don't got shit. You don't got $5 so I can get something to eat. Like, that's cold. That's cold blooded, man.
What do you think the hardest part is about being homeless?
Um, just man, it's a tough life. You never know when you're gonna. I've been robbed so many times. I've been stuck up, robbed, stabbed, shot at, stalked. Um, just there's no end of what can happen to you when you're sleeping on the streets. People take advantage of you. Just picking your pocket alone, right? You have to get your social security card back. You gotta get your ID back. You gotta get all your, your birth certificate, all your cards back. That could take months.
Yeah.
That could destroy a person's life. You know what I mean? Like, it took me like 90 days to get all my paperwork back. I'm just at a spot now where I can start working and supporting myself. But for the last 90 days, I haven't even had an ID or anything so that I can work or do anything. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like totally helpless. You know what I mean? Like, I can support myself. I can do construction every day. I can do labor finders, whatever. And I plan to do that. But as long as I'm doing crack and shit, like, it's not gonna work. Like, they say I have a physical compulsion and a mental obsession that makes me take a drug that releases a physical allergy of craving. And, one takes two, two takes four, one's too many, a thousand's never enough. But I love that shit. And I never know when enough is enough until I'm like dusted and disgusted, you know? But you learn. The streets will teach you. This heat, this summer was bad. You know what I mean? Like, last summer I was in Texas, or yeah, last summer I was in Texas for like 3 months. It was 130 degrees for 3 months, every single day. I was like a ranch hand working on these big ass like 10-acre farms and shit, cutting down like these oak trees, and it was 130 degrees every single day, and I was like just teetering on homelessness there. And the people would die. It was so hot that so hot outside that people would. And no one gives a fuck. because they figure like homeless are like drug addicts, scoundrel, rapists, robbers. You know what I mean? So fuck them. You know what I mean? Just let them die like dogs in the street. Like that's not really necessarily true at all. Like I've met like so many good people homeless. Just different bad things happen to them, and it is what it is.
Can you tell me a little bit about your family?
Yeah, my mom. Well, my I don't know my biological family. I was adopted, but yeah, my mom, dad didn't drink, didn't do drugs. They're both lawyers. They're district attorneys for 25 years, and then they were defense attorneys for 25 years. Sister works. She either works for Floyd Mayweather or works for the same company as people who work for him. She's a big time lawyer in Atlanta. My brother is a master musician in 13 instruments. He went to Berkeley in Boston. He pays his mortgage with his music. They live a great life. They have good lives,
They're all
but
doing well.
yeah, they're all doing very well. But they don't like the shit I do when I get high or drunk. Like flip cars or overdose or try to kill myself. After I get like one time, I was really fucked up and I got into an argument. My parents are like stupid people, so they call the police and shit. My uncle is a spokesperson for the Miami-Dade Police Department. He was like a captain in the police department here. So like they sent like a SWAT team to my house. And the first cop through the door, I just punched and I took his badge and I barricaded myself up in my room. And I slit my wrist with it. But then I drew pictures all over the walls with blood. And they're like, "What the fuck?" And like the cops come in, like, "Mr. Mack, I can help you or I can hurt you, but you're gonna put that badge down right now." I lost so much blood. I just like fell off the bed. I'm listening to that Bone Thugs and Harmony song that take me home. He's like, "This is a really good song." I was like, "Yeah, I was gonna kill myself to it."
God.
He's like, "My daughter would like this album." I was like, "Man, you can have the CD if you want." He's like, "Oh, by the way, code 3, we need an ambulance. He's gonna bleed to death." Like, oh shit, that was funny.
When was that?
Like when I was 17, I was like young, crazy.
Oh my God, man.
Like the other big problem I had in my life when I was young, I got into gangs here, and then on the West Coast, and I really fucked up my life. I by the time I was 17, I had 7 felonies, and they're all shooting and stabbing charges, armed robbery charges. I was facing 25 to life, but besides beating trial, just the arrests alone destroyed my life. Like I couldn't join the army, I couldn't possess a gun, I couldn't be a real estate agent. I can't be a cop. I can't be anything really of substance. You know what I mean? Because of all these problems that I had when I was 15, 16, 17, it destroyed my life. Because in Florida, there's no juvenile record. So they don't, if you get charged as an adult, that's it. It never comes off your record. So,
Do you think you had an easy life growing up?
hell no. My mom started kicking me out when I was like 13. I
When I
lived,
when I say easy, I mean because your parents had so much money. You had.
man, just because a person's parents got money doesn't mean you got money. You know what I mean? My parents have millions of dollars right now. I don't got shit. You know what I mean? But I had to cater to life. Sorry, I'm a little sick. Um, like I had, yeah, I had an easy life. I had like maids and a personal kung fu teacher and baseball instructors and math teachers and shit like that. But the time I turned 13, it was like nature versus nurture. I just started shooting up the streets, banging with the homies and shit. My family just didn't understand it. But later, I found my biological family through a private investigator, and apparently, my family had a lot of problems. Like, my biological mom was a prostitute. My biological dad was in jail for the rest of my life before I was born, and but my regular parents weren't like that. You know what I mean? They taught me to be a good person. That I grew up in a courthouse, so like I knew justice and right from wrong and stuff like that. Even though I was completely psychotic most of my life, like I try to do good, but
Have you reached the point in your life where you think this may be a turning point, where you leave everything else behind and you start doing things that are good for you?
man, I seen something fucking amazing today. It's kind of funny. I steal every day, right? to support my drinking habit, like, because I'm a straight up alcoholic, right? And I'm walking in a store where I steal all the time, and the security guard's like, "I'm not even gonna fight with you today, man. Just take the bottle." And I just walked past him. He was like, "There is a God." I was just like, "Man, not today, man."
Are you a religious person?
hmm Yeah, I was raised very Jewish. hmm
You have any regrets in life?
hmm Yeah, hell yeah,
What just hit you?
man. Just I don't know. Not wanting to drink anymore or do drugs is a powerful thing, man. And I don't know. I don't get along too well with the police and shit. You're just funny as shit. You're just like, I can't even do this with you today. Like, the one day I don't toss you up, you don't fucking take it. He's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, but I don't know. Awesome. How you asked, um, like regrets. Like, yeah, I got a lot of regrets because I got like a lot of dead friends and shit, so I got a lot of regrets. Mm.
Do you think that if you turn to your family, do you keep in contact with any of them?
No, they don't even pick up the phone for me. Yeah, the last conversation I had with my mom, she was like, "Yeah, if you don't have a job or a car or a house, don't call me." So that's how she talks to me. She's like, "Oh, baby, with $10,000 change your life?" I was like, "Yeah, mom, I can go to school and get a car. You know, I changed my life a little bit." She's like, "Fuck you, get a job." Like, that's how she talks to me. So
Why?
I mean, she's a prosecutor for drug court. Like, she's not a stupid lady, and she knows that. I mean, she's seen every type of game there is to play. You know what I mean? Or try to get away with shit. And she doesn't let me get away with
And if you genuinely went to your family and said, I want to get better, I want to do better, I want to get into rehab and turn my life around,
shit.
they wouldn't help you?
I mean, I don't really need their help at this point because I just got Medicaid yesterday. I got Medicare too. Um, I really need to go to the hospital and get back on my medicine because it helps me so much. But I don't know. I was just gonna try to get into this place right here so I could work because I know. I mean, my family's from here, so I got a lot of friends and cousins and stuff like that, and they'll help me work. Like, they'll help me get a job. But I just haven't had an ID.
You have one now?
Yeah, I got ID, got my Medicaid card. I mean, I even had a cell phone yesterday, but this morning it poured and it got destroyed. So, I mean, it's just one thing after another. Then I go swimming and I lean back and I lose my glasses. I'm like, oh my Lord. I wish I didn't wake up this morning late. So I lost my glasses and my phone today. And it's just been a day. But it's cool. I'll get it back. I got on disability and it starts next month. So life will get better, you know? And I feel like I need to start going to meetings and stuff like that because the only way I feel like I can stay sober is to help another person that's going through the same shit that I'm going through, you know? So that would be cool.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. What is your motivation, I guess, for staying sober and keeping clean and turning your life around?
Yeah, man. On page 63 of the big book, it's the third step prayer, and it says, turning your life and your will over to God, so that your actions show His glory. And there goes to say a lot for that in this world because it is a cold world. And to be a good person in a world like that is different. Like you're different. You're not a normal person. Most people just pass us and don't give a. But to be invested into people's problems and to help people, that's good. Yeah, I'd say so.
And you have one hell of a story, and I
hmm
honestly wish the best for you, man.
Cool, man.
You're 39 years old, bro. You can still turn it around.
Bro, I feel like um, a year from now. if I run into you, I'll look and be a lot different. I'll have more good stories to tell you.
Hey man, I hope so.
Cool, man.
Best of luck to you, man.
Nice to meet you too, bro.